So today I'm going to show you how to make your own witch's brew, like so, for your Halloween party. It'll be any kind of drink of choice that you like in it. I did something really autumnal with some cider and vodka, but you can do whatever you like, and you just need a pumpkin that you're going to carve out, and some drink materials, and some basic things like tongs, and probably a ladle to scoop it out. You also have to find dry ice, which can be a little bit tricky to find, but I recommend just Googling dry ice in your neighborhood and something might come up. That's what worked for me. I found this like wholesale beverage company near my neighborhood that had dry ice, and they sold me 10 pounds, which was like the minimum, and that's not as much as it sounds like. It's very condensed. And my pumpkin's pretty small for this demonstration, but you can use one about twice as big or however big you would like to. Last year I had a much bigger one, but this will work for this demonstration. Start by grabbing your pumpkin and just cut a small hole around the top, just like you would if you were pumpkin carving, so you could take off the stem area. And then you want to go around it again and cut it out a little bit farther. Just pretend you're making a bowl, because you essentially are. And if you want to do the method I recommend, it's using a plastic bowl inside a pumpkin so that your drink stays very neat. So if you have something on hand, you can just make sure that fits in when you get to that step and see if you have to cut it any farther. And then just make sure that you clean out all of the guts and gore of the pumpkin, and that will take a little while. And you can also make something out of the pumpkin seeds like I did if you would like to. And then you want to take a knife and go in and start scraping the pumpkin really close to the inside. Just remember that you're making a bowl and you don't want it too thick around the edges. This is not normal pumpkin carving at all. And if you see what I'm doing, I'm getting just really, really close to the edge of the pumpkin, and I'm actually going to take a plastic container and fit it in there. I forgot to show you that at this point, but you'll see that in just a second. And you can also scoop it up with a fork, and this is pretty much what it'll look like when you're just about done and ready to put your drink in. So now for the fun part. Once your pumpkin is carved really well around the edges, a lot more than you would typically do when you're pumpkin carving, and it's nice and flat around there, I recommend taking a plastic container and then just pushing that inside really nicely and making sure it fits. You don't have to do this. I mean, if you don't want to even carve it flat and you just want to put a drink inside here, you can go for it, but I can't recommend that because I haven't tried it. I think this way is really nice because it keeps the drink like really neatly, making sure it won't leak or anything if it's in the plastic. And if it shows a little bit, you can carve it a little bit more, or even put some like cobwebs or some decoration around it if you would like to. But I think it looks fine, and especially once the smoke comes out of there, you can't even like see the top of the pumpkin. So I'm just pouring this apple cider in here, just from the grocery store. I think that'll be a pretty nice autumnal flavor. And then I'm going to just add some regular vodka to it. And then make sure it's not too full. I don't know if you can see that, but it's a little bit full. But make sure that if you have a smaller pumpkin, you can just keep refilling the drink or make it like a shooter kind of thing, so it's just kind of like a strong shot. But if you have a bigger pumpkin, you can obviously like make a bigger batch, which I did last year. I made like a huge pumpkin twice as big as this. Don't fill it too full because you want to be able to put the ice in there. And then I recommend being extremely careful with your dry ice. I have these and rubber gloves, and mine came in like little pieces, which is really nice. So I could just really carefully put this inside the pumpkin. And it is bubbling like crazy. It's so awesome. Probably see that pretty well, but yeah, it's really cool. You can use a ladle to scoop it out. And then every love it at your party. And then you can drink it. It's totally safe to drink. I have done it before. How cool is this? It is so cool, and it's so worth the effort with the carving and hunting down dry ice. Yeah. The bigger the piece, the longer it'll last you. So. And using a ladle, I think, is the easiest thing with the pumpkin. But see, it doesn't even show the sides of the plastic that I have in here. So. And the bubbling will last for a bit. I think it's kind of slowing down now, but it's still going. And you can just keep putting in the pieces of dry ice as much as you like. Cheers! So awesome. It is a party after all.